this is VidHead 85. Can we talk for a minute? Okay, great. Okay, so I am excited that ENDA, Employment Non-Discrimination Act, has passed the Senate 64-32. I guess the Democrats have grown a pair and said that this is the time to do the work and possibly give the House Republicans a chance to redeem themselves by passing it. I remember the VAWA fight and how it was a long time before it was actually eventually passed and signed into law by President Obama. Also, the same will end up happening with immigration reform. We need to keep continuing to push it. We need to push the Republicans on the bill to vote yes, and the Democrats to make more noise on this bill. So I will be calling Brian Higgins, maybe Chris Collins, the devil incarnate, to have him, say yes about the bill. Now, ENDA has been long debated, and there's a religious, ENDA has been long debated, and of course there's the religious wrong has been spreading nothing but lies about the bill. Now, such as saying somehow you will have to hire John and call him Mary, and what kind of example will that set for the kids? They use graphics like this to breed fear in people that somehow it will be a special right that will be forced on them if they can't fire gay people because they're gay. It has become a gleeful thing when gay people lose their gay and lesbian, bisexual, and transgender people lose their jobs, lives, or something else because of their ungodly lifestyle. No one does evil so cheerfully as when they do it from religious convictions. So the rocky road to ENDA is similar to the one of Sonda in 2002. ENDA has been introduced in every Congress since 1994 except the 109th. I don't know what that was. Similar legislation has been introduced without passage in any House since 1974. Also, Sonda was always introduced in 1971 was the first time, and in 2002 it was finally passed. That's a little bit of New York history there. The bill has gained its best chance at passage after the Democratic Party broke 12 years of Republican congressional rule in the 2006 midterms elections. In 2007, gender identity protections were added to the legislation for the first time. Some people didn't believe that it could pass, so they took it out. They took out transgender inclusion from the bill, which passed the House and then died in the Senate. Former President George W. Bush threatened to veto the measure. LGBT advocacy organizations and the LGBT community were divided over support of the modified bill. In 2009, Barney Frank, representative at the time, Barney Frank introduced a transgender inclusive version of ENDA. He introduced it again in 2011, and Senator Jeff Markley introduced it in the Senate. President Obama supports the bill's passage. So that's a little bit of history on the bill. In San Antonio, we remember what happened there. And a lot of conservatives are saying, now personally, a lot of conservatives are just conservative shits, I call them, like the Traditional Values Coalition and Catholic Church, Fox News, and some other groups have been pushing arguments like it promotes cross-dressing, or you'll have to accept transgender identity as a valid one if people pass ENDA and other worker protections. Now, this bill doesn't do any of it, and of course, it just says that can't be a basis by which you can discriminate against workers. So ENDA wouldn't force religious people to hire people that they would not otherwise hire if they are private church-related businesses, I believe. And states' rights advocates say that it would overrule the policies that the states have in regard to worker protections, but this would not do any of that. The same kinds of people say that Alabama has as a state the right to ban gay and lesbian couples from being married, but New York doesn't have the right to allow gay and lesbian couples to marry. In many states, there are no worker protections for LGBT people, and there's nothing to overrule. Then there is, of course, the claim that I find completely laughable, that the fact that ENDA was rushed through or will be rushed through. The bill has been introduced since 1994, except for one Congress, and they're going to tell us that it's been rushed. Nearly 20 years of debate is enough. Then we get to the real thing. Then we get to the real whopper of this whole thing, and that's ENDA will threaten the foundation of marriage, further same-sex marriage or children, or that it will mandate sharing bathrooms with both genders. Now, I just want to point out that in many states, even with unisex bathrooms, I have never seen any case where a transgender person assaulted someone else in the bathroom. This is a non-issue, a distraction, diversion, an artful dodge, basically to say, they give me the heebie-jeebies and I want to put on a noble facade of protecting people, protecting marriage, protecting children, protecting normal people. Now, anybody, also, I wanted to mention Ally McBeal. Anybody see Ally McBeal? I love that show. I don't remember them having any problems in the show. I'm sure that they feel awkward at first, but they get over it. And there would be no real issue. There's no special protections given, and also, most people support ENDA. Now, of course, I would like to see some kind of trans inclusive law upheld at the voting polls, but even though I do believe that no one should vote on a minority's rights, it would be would be like November 2012, when all 4 states had a equality rule, basically equality won at the ballot box. That would be wonderful. Now, I personally feel as if someone should be evaluated on their skills, on what they bring to the job. Unfortunately, since I'm gay and my evangelical boss doesn't like my ungodly lifestyle, he can go ahead and fire me, and there would be, in many states, there would be no recourse that I could take in order to protect myself, my family. I could, if I wanted to put up a picture of my hubby and the kids in a state, in one of the 29 states, I believe, where you can be legally fired with for being gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, I would have no recourse. So if anything, ENDA is a wonderful thing. I am so glad that it has passed the Senate. Now we have work to do with the House of Reps. Boehner could easily bring the bill and kill it or pass it. More than likely, I believe that it would pass. It would just be time enough. However, if he doesn't get to call it, it doesn't get to be voted on, and he knows, I believe that he knows it would pass, because most people are in favor of this kind of legislation. So, viva la ENDA, and I will be calling Chris Collins mainly and Brian Higgins to commit to a vote of yes on the Employment Non-Discrimination Act. Thank you for letting me talk to you, YouTube. I'll see you later.